Hello and welcome to this new series that we are doing here on Stories, the True and the Fictional. How are you going, Ryan?
Good.
Yeah. Wow. Are you trying out for the next?
I'm tired now. That was too much for me.
Are you trying out for the next the remake of American Ninja?
No, I am excited to talk about the game we are talking about today.
Yes. So we're doing a series on games, primarily stories in games. We are not doing game reviews in the sense of check out the mechanics, check out
So
the editing.
IGN, stop hassling us to join your team and want to pay us billions of dollars.
Although we would be open to that.
No, I do not sell out. I am Jin Sakai.
But our mutual friend Chris does say everyone has a price.
My price is honor.
Okay, cool. Yes. Well, before we dive into the stories behind or the stories in the games, remember to like, subscribe, and share, and ring that notification bell. And anytime we post something new, you will be like, "Oh, look, there's a new video from Stories, the True and the Fictional. I better go look at that." Lovely Ryan.
And Red Fishbowl can come and look at the lovely Jamie.
It is Rubberfish Media.
I was close.
That they're one of our first subscribers, so I will honor them. Speaking of honor,
and Red Fishbowl. I mean, what are they called again?
Rubberfish.
Rubberfish Media loves Jamie.
Just don't get too pushy. We don't want to lose them.
Yeah, we only have one subscriber, and it's Red Fishbowl.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today, Ron?
We are talking about one of the greatest games to come out on PS4. It's an original. It wasn't like let's make God of War 75 or Final Fantasy 273. This beautiful piece of history came out last year in 2021, I believe, early 2021, or was it 2020, Jamie?
I think it was 2021.
2021. This masterpiece is called Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes. Fantastic.
And let's get this out of the way. We're going to be talking spoilers.
Yep.
We're going to be talking, we're not talking, as Jamie said, it's not a review. We're not talking gameplay, strategies, anything. We're talking about the story. So
right.
In saying that, we are going to be talking about the whole story.
Yeah.
So if you haven't played it and you want to play it and you don't want to be spoiled, this is not the video for you. Check out one of our many other videos.
But now, if you're not a gamer, don't feel like you should have to switch off because this is purely about story, how it's shaped, the characters we love, which is all good things that you can learn in writing your own work, even if you want to learn how to write for a game, because I think that's just as difficult as
oh, definitely,
100%. And props to, I know it's another game, but like I saw the size of the script for Cyberpunk, and it was just like, so big because you had all those you got to write dialogue for everything.
Unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
I'm 50-50 on Cyberpunk.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I can't look, I like it. I can't play it for more than an hour.
All right.
I find I'm not gelling yet. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
But I know everyone loves it, but I'm just not gelling.
That's fine.
Gelling. Yeah,
but it's okay. But let's talk about stuff that happened in 1274.
Oh, okay.
Okay. In a little country called Japan. Yeah.
In a little province called Tsushima.
Yeah, that's right.
And please, guys, if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, let me know, because as you can tell, we're Westerners. So I want to know how to pronounce this properly. I'm hoping Tsushima is the correct pronunciation.
Yeah. And well, let's dive right in. Tell me some of the writers, Ryan.
Yeah, so conveniently, the writer Ian Ryan, who, I don't know, was one of the writers on that little game called Knights of the Old Republic.
All right, yeah. One of the greatest games, yeah.
Pretty much. Also wrote for the game Thief. We've got Liz Albul. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Writer for arguably one of the best Assassin's Creed game, Black Flag, which I'm still yet to play, and I promise I will.
You do know who does the
Hey,
voice.
I've got to play Final Fantasy VII for the 700th time, all right? I don't have time for this.
You do know who does the voice in Assassin's Creed Black Flag?
Who?
The latest guy to play Constantine.
Oh, Matt Ryan.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Oh, well, yeah.
His voice.
And Patrick Downs, who wrote Just Cause 3 and Internet Trolls Come At Me, one of the worst series in the history of series, Halo.
Yeah.
My dad's going to hate me for this. I'm going to get written out of the world. My dad is 68 years old and loves Halo.
Yeah.
He doesn't play online. He just loves the stories, but I cannot stand Halo. I'm sorry. It's my opinion. The opinions specified by Ryan Haig on this podcast do not necessarily represent the opinions of Jamie Bryan.
But in this case,
look, it's our opinions. It may be you may love it, and I'm sorry, but it's not my cup of tea.
I loved Halo 1 and 2, I think.
Couldn't even get into them.
But I think it was only because it was on the Xbox that I owned. But that's a story for another time.
Anyway. So they're the writers, directed by Nate Fox, who Infamous. I love. Now this is a game I love. Absolutely love the Infamous series. Really great take. Starring Eric Steinberg, who plays Lord Chimera, which is Jin Sakai's uncle. He was in Star Trek First Contact, SG-1, Mortal Kombat Legacy, played Sub-Zero.
There's some notable actors in this.
Yeah, I'm just reading this. Francis Chow, who was in Lost, The Expanse, and The Tick. I'm assuming, does he play Jin Sakai?
No, I didn't put Jin in there because he wasn't as big.
Okay, fair enough.
And
who did Francis Chow play?
He was one of he was the guy that was teaching him archery.
Oh yeah. And you know what? That's the actual the motion capture. It actually looks like him. Yeah. Okay, and then we've got Patrick Gallagher, who played Khotan Khan. He was in Glee. He was actually I'm going to use one of my friend Chris's advice for making a podcast. As a gay man, I do love Glee. He was the gym teacher in Glee. And I know because I was playing the game. I'm like, where do I know this guy from? Yeah. He's teaching gym in Glee. He was also in Night of the Museum. He played Attila the Hun. Convenient.
Yeah.
Because he looks very, very similar characters.
The first time, because the motion cap is great with him as well. The first time I recognized him was it was in an episode of Castle with Nathan.
Okay, yep.
And he was playing the most weakest man. Like they were like beating him up, and he's going, "No, don't hurt me."
He does a good job though, as Khotan Khan. He really does.
Yeah, it's just like polar opposite. But
one of my favorite bad guys in a game.
Yeah, just want. All right, well let's talk synopsis. So it's essentially a fictional story in a true world.
The land and the area exists.
The event.
Obviously, the characters Khotan Khan is a real character. I don't know if you looked that up, Jamie. He's a real descendant of Genghis Khan.
Yep.
The rest of the story is pretty fictional, but it's still based on Japanese traditions.
Yeah. Well, it's like writing fiction into an event.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And which I think is one of the most masterful crafts you can do when storytelling, because you are taking something.
You're not creating the whole world. You're using an existing world, but you're having to still keep to certain truths while telling your own story in that area. Yeah.
So you're designing a character and throwing it into a already established world, and I
think they did that really well with this game.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, but do you want to run us through the synopsis or the overall story?
Well, I just kind of read through all the other stuff. Your friend Red Fishbowl wants you to talk more, so why don't you talk a bit more?
All right, look, well, I'll read out the synopsis that was on IMDb. The year is 1274.
Red Fishbowl. I'm sorry, I can't remember. I can never remember your name. So I'm just going to call you Red Fishbowl.
Remember the song?
Media.
Rubber Ducky, and then change Ducky to Fish.
Rubber Fish Media. We love you.
The year is 1274. The samurai warriors are the legendary defenders of Japan until the fearsome Mongol Empire invades the island of Tsushima, wreaking havoc and conquering the local population. As one of the last surviving samurai, you rise from the ashes to fight back, but honorable tactics won't lead you to victory. You must move beyond your samurai traditions to forge a new way of fighting, the way of the ghost, as you wage an unconventional war for the freedom of Japan. Yes, it is as badass as it
How
sounds.
could you not want to play this game based on that?
Yeah. Now, let's hit up before we dive right into it. Let's hit up the reviews. Like, I like to have balance, like a Purple Alien once said. Balance is good.
Mm-hmm.
So I found the worst review, which was really hard to find.
You're kidding? Was that the worst review?
The worst review was a 6-star review, and I found the best. I found the best, like there were 10-star reviews and all that. But I wanted, something relevant, essentially, not just I love. Something. It's got to be like depth. So hit us up with the worst review, which was 6 out of 10.
Well, again, 6 out of 10 is not bad for a worst review. The heading, it's by, I'm not even going to try and read that name because it's
don't just say the names, just spread it out.
Yeah, so the heading is really good gameplay but lack of choices. Oh my God, the spelling is already driving me crazy. I wish they give it an option to be honorable or something. They do. Like that, and also the story is not that good. Gameplay also gets repetitive and boring after a while. Oh, seriously, man, just go. Were you around in like 1274 in the Japanese Renaissance where samurais were? Just go jump off a bridge, champ. Seriously. Yeah. I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It just makes me wonder if he actually played the game. Like, are you sure?
Oh, look, he might have done what one of our friends does and just done like a linear playthrough on the easiest setting possible.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to, I mean, but that DLC in the new one alone is worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
The mystical shaman thing. Yeah. I would have paid $100 just for that.
Yeah.
Oh man, come on, bro.
Now let me lighten your mood with I think this is the best written review. Short, punchy.
Yeah.
8 out of 10. Finally, a game that put effort into writing a good story.
Exactly.
Which is true.
Neptune 165, you are on the ball.
However, they clearly hadn't played Red Dead Redemption 2, but that's a story for another time.
But maybe they don't want to play 2 games that take you at least a year and a half to finish.
Hey, I played them back to back. I played them back to back. Thank you very much. After 8 months of playing Red Dead Redemption 2, I went, I'm going to play Ghost of Tsushima.
Well, I must admit, Jamie, when I got my PS5 finally late last year, the first thing I did, I had all the games to pick from, and the first thing I did was bought the PS5 version of Ghost of Tsushima. I'd already finished it once, and that was my game. I played through. I think it took me, because I was working at the time, it took me like a good 2 months to finish it, with playing it, roughly about anywhere from 1 to 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
And that because I completed everything, including the new DLC. Like I'm not, you and I are alike on that mindset. We're completionists.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about gameplay. We're here to talk about story. So tell me, thoughts on the setting.
Yeah, great. Fantastic. I think they captured the essence of feudal Japan quite well. In doing I actually did a bit of research on the game once I played through and finished it the first time, using real, as we discussed before, using real characters as AKA Kotal Khan, Khotan Khan, sorry.
Yeah.
But putting their own spin on, using a real character in a real setting, but bringing their own characters like the Sakai and Shimura clans into it. I thought was fantastic. A great setting. It just looked amazing. Like it was able to take you into believing that you were in feudal Japan.
Yeah. Great side characters as well.
Definitely like Yuna. I love the Tomoe, and what was the archer's name?
Oh,
okay, it's slipping my mind. It's
he's the guy who played by Francis.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about his character in the game. He was Sensei Ishikawa. I thought that side quest was amazing. The side quest where the last of the clan, Adachi, where she finds she's obviously helped raise Jin when he was little.
Yep.
And he goes back and ends up repaying, going on a long quest to help get her revenge on her family. I like the monk stuff in Act 2.
Yeah.
I think it was Nobu. I can't remember exactly right.
Yeah.
But that was really good too. Yeah. The side characters you actually cared about.
Yeah. So
and shall we even talk about Taka?
Oh, we'll talk about Taka in the overall story. But
yeah,
we're on characters, so let's dive into characters. So main character Jin
Sakai, very
compelling character.
Definitely.
Like I said, you've got A-list actors in this, and yeah, so he fights in the first battle against Khotan Khan. Brutal battle. And he's one of the last ones to survive, and he's nursed back to health by another character. But what I love about Jin is his determination.
Yeah.
He's got that pull, like he has been trained to be honorable.
Yep.
But he's got that I love my country. I want to save my people. Yep. And he's got that tension of, what's
and like he gets pulled in a lot of different directions in terms of what he's willing to do to save Tsushima. And at the end of the day, he is quite stubborn to begin with. He's like, no, I'm doing this. I'm saving my uncle. My uncle will then help you achieve your goals, and we would take back the island. I'm doing this with honor. But then as the story goes on, he then finds his honor questioned and challenged. And I like that about him.
Yeah, and what I loved, his touches on gameplay kind of thing, but every time he does something dishonorable, he gets pulled back into a cutscene or a
I like that.
And it was just like you're like you feel
it's traditional. I know you don't watch too much of it, but it's very anime-ish.
Yeah.
When you do something dishonorable, it takes you back to a flashback when you're training with your uncle.
Yeah.
And that is very anime-ish. Getting flashbacks to, you also get flashbacks to unlock powers and stuff like that, or not, I shouldn't say powers, abilities and techniques. Very anime-ish.
But that to me, that's brilliant storytelling.
Yeah,
because you are caring about this character, you're feeling bad about what he's doing.
Yeah,
but then you understand why he's doing it, but it still doesn't take away those feelings.
And look, it does essentially give you the choice.
Yeah,
you can do it this way. There are certain scenes where you do need to use the ghost. You need to the stealth, but then you don't have to do that all the time. You can fight with honor. You can do the standoffs. Yeah. You don't have to use that. And at the end of the day, that's the brilliant thing about it. The game gives you the choice of saying, hey, these are open to you, but you can go down this other path if you want.
Yeah. Well,
and that's good storytelling in itself.
I want to talk about Taka and all that. But let's do the overall story, because there's going to be, a lot of spoilers.
Yeah.
So, you want to run us through the story, or do you want me to crack at it?
Yeah. Look, I think we could both share this. So basically, after at the beginning of the game, you're thrust into a battle with the Mongols on the beach on Azuma Bay. I think it was Azuma Bay, and it's a slaughter. We're not going to mince words. It's an absolute slaughter. The Mongols have got fire weapons, guns and stuff like that, and they're not fighting with honor. And then Jin is involved with his uncle, and Jin gets taken out and wakes up, found someone's been tending his wounds, and then he's like, oh well, I need to save my uncle. And he meets Yuna, who's a pretty essential character throughout the whole series, or throughout the whole game. I say series because it feels like a series because it's that long.
Would you just on touching on her? Would you consider her like the devil on his shoulder, kind of?
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. She tempts him.
You got Shimura, honor, and then you got her going, no, we've got to do it this way. Like, I'm not saying she's a devil, but like,
No, I think I agree with what you're saying. It's different perspectives. It's like, it's like it's almost like a mother and father thing. Your dad's a doctor, your mum's a lawyer.
Yeah.
They both want you to be that, but it's at the end of the day, you've got to base your decision based on what you want to do.
Yeah, that's true.
But I like Yuna a lot. I like her. Look, essentially, she's family. She just wants to get her brother and get off the island.
Yeah.
But she's willing to fight with Jin to get that. And I think she goes through a lot in this game, even more than Jin.
Yeah.
I would say that she has the biggest sacrifices in this game.
Yeah.
And I think she's tested a lot more for an NPC. And for those who are not familiar, non-playable character, she goes through the most in this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so essentially you find out, you have your battle with Khotan Khan on the bridge, and you get wiped. You're done.
Again.
Again. Yeah. And so the plan is you need to save Lord Shimura, but you realize you can't do it on your own.
Yeah. And
that's when these side characters start to come in. The good thing I like about the way that the game does the story of the side quest is you can't, and look, I know it's frustrating for people like you and me who spend a lot of time on side quests. You can't just go, okay, I'm going to do Sensei Ishikawa's side quest. I'm going to do that and finish it. No. You get a couple of chapters in the first act, but it moves with the story.
Yeah.
So you help him a little bit, and he goes, okay, I'm going to be at Lord Shimura's castle to help you when the time is right. And then you go and do the Lady Adachi's side quest. One of my favorite characters, I will say, is Kenji, the wine merchant. I mean, he threw it, the way they tell his story, he is literally the definition of walking on a line throughout the whole story.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to be good, but he just loves money.
Yeah.
And so Kenji is a wine seller, and you have a couple of missions with him as well. And
what I love about Kenji is he is the comic relief that you need
definitely
in such an intense thing. Because I'd compare it to if you've seen the last Planet of the Apes they did, War of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
it was so hard, like so intense, so brutal, and then they meet this monkey who was from the zoo, and he's so funny and so crazy, so you need that from a story.
Oh, you definitely do.
You need something to give you a laugh, give you relief.
100%.
100%.
And because the story is so deep and so full on. But anyway, so you do these side quests with these characters, and then you go to Lord Shimura's castle.
Yeah.
And you sort of have a battle. It does warn you, hey, this is going to be a long scene. You have the battle. Khotan escapes, and then you free your uncle. You meet up with your uncle, and you free your uncle. You obviously during these missions, you also free Yuna's brother Taka, who is a blacksmith, who essentially helps you create a grappling hook which is obviously not done back in those days. It's one of the first of its kind, and that allows you to get into the castle and do what you need to do. Do you want to take us through Act 2, Jamie?
Oh, I'll try and remember Act 2. It's been a while, but so it's basically you've got to essentially organize. The goal is to defeat Khotan Khan driving from the island. And if I'm remembering correctly, it's about Lord Shimura wanting to get send a message to the mainland to get back up. Come bring the cavalry
to the Shogun warriors.
Yeah. So and I believe, is this when he starts developing his poison, Jin?
No. So this is it happens after the Taka stuff. He realizes he needs to. Yeah. That sort of happens at the very end.
Yeah, well, I believe that's going into Act 3.
Yeah,
because in Act 3 they start using they start using the poison.
Yeah, so the end of Act 2, basically what happens is Jin's starting to see that there may be something else, another way to do it than the honorable way.
Yeah.
He figures the Mongols are not playing by honor, so why should he? And his uncle clearly does not want to have a bar of that at all. They take over a few siege weapons. Basically, I think Jin's like, look, I'm going to go challenge the Khan. And Taka's like, I'm coming with you. Even though Jin says, no, don't come. It's, he's like, no, I'm coming with you. Which eventually leads to them both getting captured. And unfortunately, the Khan kills Taka.
Yeah.
He decapitates him.
Yeah.
Which is pretty heart-wrenching because you don't sort of see it coming.
Yeah.
Or maybe you do a little bit, but you think that it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that's what sends Jin into the mindset of, I need to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And then so he develops a poison and he's against his uncle's wishes, and he sneaks into the Khan's current where they're hiding out and poisons pretty much
everyone.
All of everyone.
Yeah.
Which the Khan escapes again. Yeah. But this also leads to his uncle basically saying, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm exiling you. He gets captured. And then Yuna helps him escape. And you can't go back to, then that's what leads
Kenji.
to Act 3.
I think it's Kenji.
That's right, Kenji. Yeah. Smuggles him out. And then basically you're cut off from the area of the second act for most of the third act.
Yeah.
Where you have to, you find yourself in the northern lands of cold. It's snowing, it's freezing. You find, you get your weapons back, and you basically plan on, this is what we're going to take down the Khan with or without the uncle's support.
Yep.
But in the meantime, the Khan has analyzed Jin's poison and is now using that poison against the citizens of Tsushima, and he plans to spread it throughout the world.
Yeah, basically use it to go to the mainland.
Yep, and take over.
Yeah.
So obviously Jin feels a lot because of that.
Yeah. But he also reaches out to his uncle, sends him a message going, "This is what's happening. Where I would love for you to be there." And obviously, during the battle, he shows up and wins the day.
And the Shogun support. The Shogun has, in the meantime, sent support.
Yep.
Of the Shogun samurais over there, so it sort of evens up the army.
Yeah, and then you think it ends at the Khan, but no.
Yeah, so you eventually go onto the ships. You stop the Khan from ships from setting sail.
Yep.
So therefore, the poison will not be used to poison the mainland. You kill Catan. You're ready for end credits, but no. One of the most heart-wrenching scenes and decisions that you need to make. You take us through that one, Jake.
Yeah. Well, so sorry, it's one of the hardest.
I know.
It's one of the
I've
hardest
been through
things
it twice, and it's still...
I've ever had to play. So because Jin has gone, shall we say, off the rails in when it comes to Japanese honor and culture and all that stuff.
Samurai honor, yeah.
Samurai. He is basically meets his uncle under the place where they used to train. Yeah. Because his uncle trained him. And basically says, these are the Shogun's orders. I have to kill you, essentially.
Yeah, you've been excommunicated. You're no longer a samurai, and the Shogun has asked for your head.
Yeah,
because they considered the rebellion.
Yeah, but he gives him the honor of dueling. Mm-hmm. So you were forced to fight a duel with your uncle, and in the end,
through tears.
Yes.
Through tears. I'm like, I don't want to do this.
I don't care who you are. You were playing this game. You were holding.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think it was, Jamie, before we go through that, I think it was the fact that it was where you were trained. It was, you thought everything was going to be okay because your uncle, you fought the Khan with your uncle. You succeeded, but in the end, the samurai honor trumps anything else, according to the shogun and according to your uncle.
Yeah, that's definitely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so basically you fight because it's a game, you win, and you're left with the decision: do you kill him? Do you give him the honorable death that he wants, or do
Because
you
he asked
spare
for it. Let's be fair. He does say,
Yeah.
"Give me the honorable death."
Yeah, and so different ending. You have the choice. You have the choice to. So that guy later on said, "There's no choice." Here's the choice.
Yeah.
You obviously didn't make it to the end. You have to decide: do you kill him? Do you not kill him? If you spare him, you get better armor. I'm just saying, which is it's kind of what they want. I feel it's what the game wants you to do. They want you to spare him because you've changed essentially.
Yeah.
It's the birth of the ninja essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
I played it through twice, and I did both decisions. The first time I played, I spared him.
Yeah.
And the second time I played through, I killed him.
Yeah.
Again, not much changes aside from the armor, because then you as with most open world games, once you've done that, you then get to go back and finish any missions. It unlocks all of the map, and you can finish any missions, or you can get collectibles and all that kind of thing. But the only difference really is the armor.
Yeah. But yeah, beautiful game, beautiful story.
Yes. Probably
Probably one of the best stories I've seen in any game.
Yep, I agree. And being a massive RPG fan, I've seen some pretty damn good stories. But this was amazing. It's got a lot of even when you play it twice and you've done both the endings, I feel it's got a lot of replay value.
Yeah,
I feel like, I mean, some of those scenes where you're just riding through on your horse, through the flower fields, and it's because time passes in the game, it's dusk.
Yeah.
And it's just seriously.
So
and the fact that we never really touched on it, but it's kind of like gives you the hint towards the ninja thing when you use the wind to find your next objectives.
Yeah.
So you're not relying on, I need to go here because samurai, you're relying on the wind.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of gives you an idea where you're going.
Yeah.
In the end. But
so
I mean, if you weren't moved by this game, then there's something wrong.
Yeah. Seriously.
It's a fantastic story.
And a lot of the games we'll be talking about in this series, they're probably going to be all emotional. I don't see.
That's what we're here. We're not here to review games. We're here to talk about the stories of the game. So you won't see us reviewing like Call of Duty, which is, I love Call of Duty games. Don't get me wrong; they're awesome, but there's not really much story.
Look, if you listeners or watchers, should we say, people watching, leave us a comment below. Yeah. I'd even be open to creating stories around Pong or random games because look, it'd be a challenge, and I think that'd actually be a pretty funny idea.
And look, we're open to suggestions, but you got to realize if you say, "Hey, we want you to play through this game and give us a story," it's going to take some time because the games that we play obviously clearly take us a little while to finish.
Yeah.
So we're open to suggestions, but just be prepared to wait a little while because I do work full time as well.
Yeah.
Jamie does work full time on becoming an author. So it's not like we're just sitting around doing nothing. And obviously we're working on creating awesome content for you guys too.
Yeah.
So we're more than happy to do a suggestion, but just give us a little bit of time.
Yeah. So in conclusion, let's just go through some of the bullet points that we came across. What makes a good story? Setting.
Yep.
I mean, I think I don't think it's 100%. You don't need an amazing setting if your characters are fantastic.
Well, that was my thing. I was going to say the next thing you also need is characters. You need to be invested in the character. You need to feel for the character. You need to have that emotional investment.
If you're going to have, this is my suggestion. If you're going to have a very intense, hardcore story, throw in a little bit of lightheartedness just to
look, Kenji wasn't just telling jokes every 5 seconds. It was just enough to sort of make you go, the conversations between Jin and Kenji were great sometimes, you know. Jin's trying to get him away from the criminal element, and Kenji's just like, I need money.
Yeah.
You know?
The thing, and another thing that I love is subplots, whether it's in shows. And I think what story-driven games are so good at doing is the side quests are a subplot. So you have your main objective, but then you have other stories happening at the same time.
And the fact that the side quests were not just get an apple from this tree, like it was legitimate. I wanted to finish to finish these things because I wanted to find out what was happening.
Yeah.
And even the things like the magical armors and stuff, you know, the storytellers missions where you had to go and unlock ancient armors and stuff. I thought they were fantastic too.
There are so many stories within stories, and I think like all good stories have layers, like onions, as Shrek would say. But yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if this sounds interesting, you know, jump on.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button so you know when we drop a new video. And let us know what you think about Ghost of Tsushima if you've played it in the games. If you played it on the PlayStation.
PS4, PS5. Look, I recommend if you've got the PS5, shed a couple of extra bucks for the PS5 version because it's amazing. And you get the bonus DLC, which we didn't even talk about, which is a whole nother element to the story. It delves into Jin's relationship with his father. Oh, just fantastic.
As always, if you guys want us to talk about that one, there's a comment place down there. And honestly, we read the comments. We love to get your feedback. And we take suggestions. And this isn't just about us. This is about you. We want to give you the content that you want. We want you to be able to watch the entire video and go, yeah. So,
and seriously, thank you to all our new subscribers. I know we're almost at 100 now. You guys are awesome, seeing as we've only had our YouTube channel up for a couple of weeks. We really, really appreciate it. It makes us want to create more awesome content for you guys. So, and as you can tell, I don't sleep much anymore, so it is a bit of an effort. So thank you. I love doing it. I love chatting with Jamie, and I love talking stories. So, you know, thanks again for picking us up.
One last thing. Check out our main show, Stories, the True and the Fictional. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Check out our Story Chat, which on YouTube as well. All our stuff's on YouTube as well, but we're also on the podcast.
If you don't want to sit there and, you know, listen to a pod and watch a video for 45 minutes, it is also available on the podcast stream.
Yep. And with that, catch you next time.
See you next time.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, please remember to hit like, subscribe, and share. And if you're after some more interesting content, then please check out our podcast, Stories, the True, and the Fictional. And lastly, if Emu's writing war correspondence sounds like something that you'd be into, then please grab a copy of my book, Letters from the Emu War, based on a true story. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Fishpond, and many, many, many more.